What's up, YouTube? Well, let's get straight into this video. And it's basically a small horror haul from Amazon. So let's just get into what I picked up. And yeah, House of a Thousand Corpse. I am trying to build tiny. We're going to try to get the best up close and personal with this Otis driftwood. I believe it comes with what, Tiny's leg or arm. But after picking up Butterfly, I believe. Um, Firefly. After picking up Firefly, the art design on this just this whole case. I think they had these at Walmart for like 30 or 40 bucks. And I remember picking these up and I was like, damn, these feel good. I just like how they feel. They're perfect for collecting, especially if you don't like to open your stuff up. If you're not trying to open this up, these are wonderful. I love these. I want all of them. And so I actually been using my Amazon rewards points. And let me explain how that works. So I have an Amazon credit card. And with the credit card, you get 5% back when you purchase stuff on Amazon, 5% back when you purchase stuff at Whole Foods, 2% back when you buy stuff at the gas station or when you eat food, 1% anywhere else. So yeah, I be getting a little money back. I have like 50, 40 bucks probably now because I spent like 20. And so I constantly tried every time I get 60, I'd buy one of these. And so I have two right now. And they're running out. On the other ones, they said it's like 16 more left on, I believe it's the Driller Killer, Dr. Satan, and then Rippin' Axe Professor, and I believe it's even some of the Captain Spaulding's on there. But I thought it was only these four that built the figure, but no, it's all five of them, and that don't even do that. You still have to buy a collector's case, House of a Thousand Corpse, and inside that case is Tiny's head and torso. So yeah, they kind of screw you on that one. Well, Trick or Treat Studios, what's up with that? That's kind of like, oh, you could build a figure, but when you buy all the figures, you still don't have its main parts. You have to go buy this to get that. That's kind of a sham. But everything else about this toy are just collectible. It's really awesome. I'm so glad I picked this up. And see, I thought it was the last one because it said last one, but it was the last one for $18. It went up a dollar. I paid $18.98 immediately when this sold. It just went off a sale and turned it to $19.98. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's more on there. But I'm still glad that I did pick this up. I am spending a bunch of money. It is my birthday. Next couple weeks is my birthday, so I will be using my credit card a little more frequent on food and just going out and just doing stuff. So I will be able to pick one of these up pretty soon. I'm sorry, I'm really close to the camera. Let me back up a little bit. So I probably will be able to pick one up really soon, y'all. And that'd be really cool. I really want Captain Spaulding. So, and the thing is, when I picked up Baby Firefly, I got that one for under $10. It was like 60 something percent off on Amazon. And a couple other ones were. I should have just picked all of those up why they're really cheap. But they sell so many on Amazon for that price, and then they slowly be increasing their sales. Or they'll just bump it back up to 19.99 because these are actually like 24.99 regular price. These are going for 25 stinkers. And I think that's how much they're going for at Walmart for their price when these came out last year. I believe these were there last year or the year before. I think it was last year. Let's see. We're gonna say these came out. Oh, 2022. These came out a while ago. But yeah, and that's really cool. They're based out in Santa Cruz. I love going to Santa Cruz around my birthday. Usually I take a trip to Santa Cruz. I don't know if I'm going to be doing that this year because I am really trying to save money. Last year I spent a lot of money this year I'm trying to save. So I might just try to stay around the Bay Area. But this figure is really awesome, and I am looking forward to saving up my points, paying off my credit card, so I could get some more of these. And yeah, I'm actually doing a big purchase on a part and to get my car fixed. So I'm gonna be putting that on my card, and I have like maybe $800-900, so I can put that in the bank. So that will kind of square that off. And but I am spending a bunch of bucks, and so that's a 1% that's going back because I am not purchasing the stuff off Amazon. I'm buying it from the what's it called. So I will just get 1% back. But all the other purchase I will try to do from Amazon just so I could get 5% back. But if I can't, it's cool. But anytime I go out to eat and stuff like that, that's 2%. You know, anytime I get gas, that's 2%. I got to do those things at least once once a week, and groceries once a week. You know what I mean? But that's 1%. So yeah, it all adds up, and I'm just every time I get like $60-70, I spend like 20. So it goes back down to 40, and then you know what I mean. I wanted to get at to where a point where I could get a really cool collectible and be like, yes, this is a part of my collection. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little tired of just going on toy hunts and just picking up random things. A lot of stuff I'm picking up now, I'm listening on eBay and seeing if they move. And I'm even willing to deal. You know what I mean? If they lower offer me something, I might even just take the deal because I'm just have that itch to buy things sometimes. And even if I'm losing a dollar, at least I got to rent the toy for however long and got some pictures and some videos with it, and I got to enjoy it. So I'm starting to rent these figures instead of keeping them. You know what I'm saying? Because as long as you don't open them and you keep them in pretty good condition, then there's still value on them. Once you open the box, it loses its value completely. That's just me being myself as a grown man. I love to open things up, but at the same time, it's certain things I want to open up, and I will have to have a double if I'm going to open something up. And that's just a waste of buying two things unless you really get it for dirt cheap. If you get something for dirt cheap, best believe you could pick up a double and open one up. And I like to keep stuff because in case I want to sell it in the future, I will put it back in the box and sell it with the box and everything. I think it will, as long as you have the box, even if it's open, it's still worth more money than it will be just without the figure. So that's just me being a hoarder, I guess. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? If you have the space, use it wisely. I don't really have the space, so but I still have a shed, and I do have a couple figures I opened up and have the box for it. And it's just in case, like if I don't want it, I'm gonna list it on eBay and I'm gonna have the box for it still. It's a few things that I'm starting to look at now, and I'm like, I might just list those for a couple bucks and see if they go, and I'll send it to them with the box. I still have the box. You know what I mean? But back to Amazon. So with these, I want to pick up Captain Spaulding. I didn't even know he was a part of this. Now that I look at the back of it, he's on here. At first, I thought it was a C4, but since it's Captain Spaulding on here, I need to get him before anything because he'll be the one to sell out before these two. Even though these two they're getting lower on their numbers are like 17 left. I still don't even trust that. But I have to buy these in the next 6 months. I do see these all listed on eBay for $110 for all of them. You get everything plus the tiny box. That's a god darn deal because that's what 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 20, 30. That's 130 bucks. That's that's not bad. You know what I'm saying? That's not a bad price for it. Someone has all of them online and just trying to get rid of their collection. And I hope I don't feel that way once I have this. I don't think I will because I have a coloring book of House of Thousand Corpse. I want to buy a shirt. I want to buy a hat. I just feel really close to this movie because it was one of my favorite horror movies that introduced me kind of to horror. Like I was into horror already, but this movie kind of made me love horror and basically not be ashamed of loving horror. It was just cool. It was I really enjoyed this movie. It was like a Freddy Krueger kind of movie. You know what I mean? Nightmare on Elm Street kind of vibe, but it wasn't. It was a whole different. But the music, it's just even Devil's Rejects tied. I watched all Rob Zombie's films. I wasn't really a fan of the Halloween, but I went to theaters to go watch it. I thought it was cool. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? And can't knock it for what it's worth. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is for my YouTube subscribers, the ones that like the long form videos, not that short stuff. You know what I mean? You don't want that short video. Don't want that short video. And this hasn't even been punched yet. It still has its punch. It hasn't even been punched yet. Look how cool that is. I really love these. I could hold this all day and mess around. You know, if I had two of them, I would open them. You know, I seen these at Walmart. I'm glad I have the opportunity to pick these up on Amazon because, you know, people get stuff with stock and stuff like that. And so people start selling that shit. You know what I mean? And I don't mind picking stuff up. You know, I work hard for my money, but at the same time, for working hard for your money, if you want things, you buy the things you want. And I think these are things I'm going to be cherishing when I'm older and later on, just having, you know, just like memories. You know what I mean? That's just what it's about, you know? And I'm not having children and stuff like that. You know, I'm riddled with fucking trauma. So why? I want a house, but at the same time, you know, little extra money that you make, you could treat yourself. You know what I'm saying? I rarely treat myself. I go so hard on myself. You know what I mean? And this is one way I could treat myself is with this cool stuff. You know what I mean? I don't do drugs. You know, I do hit a vape every now and then, but other than that, you know, I don't try to buy vapes. You know, I do love THC. You know, I smoke a little marijuana, but other than that, and that's just for my nightmares. I have terrible night terrors and stuff like that. So I a little herb, you know what I mean, help my dreams. I don't dream when I smoke, but when I quit smoking for a long time, I started having terrible nightmares and dreams. And that's no joke, especially when the stuff is like real stuff that really happened and it's just bringing all this stuff up that probably don't need to be up because it's already been brought up so many times, you know what I mean? I'm just finding different ways to work through my problems in healthier ways, you know, instead of turning into a bottle or turning into drugs and stuff like that. I'm trying to do it in a different way. And collecting's one way of me expressing that, you know. I just want to get a really cool House of a Thousand Corpse shirt, take a dope picture from my IG, you know what I'm saying? Post that, and let's talk about these figures. But I appreciate all your support. If you haven't gone like this video, go get this video a like. And if you want me to see you and know who you are, who's following me, go leave me a comment so I could go click on your YouTube and check your stuff out. And, you know, I love to follow people back and subscribe and all that, you know, and I love to support everybody. But I'm not really on YouTube as much as I am. I'm on Instagram more. That's where I really talk and all that. So if people want to, you know, you can go check out my shorts. My Instagram is always on my shorts on the end of it or just throughout the whole video. But yeah, go subscribe, go like, go comment. Not only that, keep it spooky.